Hey guys, what's going on? I wanted to make a video just because there's been so much happening these past few weeks that I feel like a video would be easier to watch than to read this huge long update. So I had given you guys an update on kind of just getting situated here, and that first week and a half was really just getting to know Danny. He was getting to know me. He was doing a bunch of tests, just spiritual tests, leadership, personality, just so that he could get to know me, and I could get placed to where I could help out with my spiritual gifts, and just all those things would be stretched out, I believe, to its full potential. And so that was really good. And after that kind of period of getting to know each other, it's when things started happening. So my first scheduled outreach was to help with the breakfast that we put on for the teachers at the elementary school across from the church. And so let me just kind of give you an idea of my commute. So this event was at 7, and to commute from where I am, which is Manhattan, to Brooklyn is an hour. And so that's at 7. That means I have to be on the train by 6, and that means I have to be up by 5. And so just days like this can get a little long, especially when you see hundreds and hundreds of people around you and the trains are jam-packed. And it's just very different from El Paso, because whereas we get in our car and pack whatever we need to have for the day and we set out, it's not like that. You have to really just plan for your days, and they're long. So after that event, it was a really good event just because I feel like the relationship between the school and the church is so strong that you don't see that in very many places, especially in New York City. It's very surprising to see how comfortable the teachers are to step in the church that they don't even attend to. And so that's a really good aspect of it. From there, we went to a fair, and this fair was called Shape Up Bushwick. So they had like Zumba, and just a bunch of people came and brought their tent. And so we were the only church there. And this has nothing to do with the church at all. Like, there's no correlation. We've done a few of these fairs already, and they're all like that, as to where they have to do with health or just something random. And so really we are just being the light in such a dark place in the community, because we're the only ones out there. We gave out 300 water bottles, 300 granola bars, and 300 kids tattoos, and that raises a lot of questions. Why are we the only ones out there? Why are we giving out free stuff? What do we believe in? What is Swerve? And so it's just a really good time to just serve our neighbors and be out there serving our community. The three values of our church our values at Swerve are to love God, love people, and serve our community. And it's very different from the other churches that are already established and have such a big congregation that they no longer reach out for members. They're just kind of like this bubble. And if you're a bubble in New York City, no one's going to be knocking at your door wondering what you're doing. No one cares about the church. And so we really have to be out there reaching those who are lost. So that's a really good time. Other than that, this past week was super, super busy. And I'll just kind of give you an idea of that if you haven't seen my other video of the mission team and what we did. So a mission team came in from Tennessee, and we did a bunch of adopt-a-blocks. So what that means is we pick up trash from the streets, and there is so much trash. You can't find like a square on the sidewalk without trash on it. And so we'll pick up trash, and say like 3 blocks fills up 3 huge black trash bags. And so that kind of gives you an idea of how dirty it is. And we're just serving, the community, and sometimes they ask questions because no one is out there doing it. So that's a really good thing. We also would make lunches for the homeless, and we would pass it out to, the parks that we knew that they would live in. And you really don't have to look too far as where they're living at. And so after that, we had planned to just put up basketball nets on the basketball courts, And for the first time, we at Swerve have painted over graffiti. So we went to this huge building that was just filled with graffiti and partnered up with the community, again, which is not directly correlated with a church, and we serve. And then people were asking, why are you coming from Tennessee and cleaning up our community? So that was really good for the mission team to start conversations as well. So every Friday since I've been here, we have a development day. And so since we're so busy here, so there's 23 interns where I'm being housed, and we all work at different churches, and we work throughout the week. So Friday is kind of our day to fellowship and really just grow together. So we'll go to different boroughs. We've been to the Bronx, Staten Island, and what we do is we hear from different pastors, and they basically just tell us the different spiritual needs that they have, which are very different because, you know, every 10 blocks is like a different culture here. And so you could definitely feel the difference. And, you know, obviously they're lost, but the ways in their loss are different. And so drugs will be a bigger problem somewhere as to where it's not as big of a problem somewhere else. Like on Staten Island, there's just a lot of like religious practices going on, and people don't really know Jesus, and so that's kind of a unique thing. And what we'll do is we'll just prayer walk, since there's a lot of church planting happening, so we'll just marinate the community and ask God to, you know, just do big things there. And we believe that He is doing big things. And so that's been happening every Friday, but this past Friday was a very unique development day. We actually worked here in Manhattan, and we worked with the human trafficking ministry. And I wish I could give you a lot of details, but for security reasons, I'm not allowed to put out too much. But just know that I went, you know, really into not only just praying around, and they've been seeing over the years that these parlors have been shut down, but we, you know, went 100% into the ministry, and it was just crazy. So it's really eye-opening, because until you don't look for these places, they are normal and they're all around. There's 10, 15, sometimes 20 parlors on one block, and you know, it's happening all around you. And this is the reality of not only New York City, but other very populated areas in around not only the United States, but the world. And so it was very humbling, and it was very scary. And so relying on the Lord was a huge part of that. And, you know, I'm safe. And so I thank Him for that, for sure. And so that's pretty much been my past week. We also did an outreach on this past Saturday, and we had 150 kids sign up for a basketball camp, and we'd scan them in. They got free jerseys, free breakfast, and then we started this all-day tournament. It was kids 13 to 15, and then we had another bracket 16 to 18. And so they came with their team, and they just played all day, went down the bracket, and the winning team got this huge ceremony of trophies. But most importantly, they got the gospel presented to them. And so that was the best part, because in this community, sometimes you have to reach the kids in order to reach the parents. And these kids are raised, a lot of them without fathers. A lot of them are just cussing up a storm. And, you know, their morals are just all out of whack. And so this is a really good way. It was 5 churches that got together and really just loved on the kids, and they see that, you know, and it's not something that usually happens. And so they fill out a comment card, and if they have more questions about Jesus, we get to follow up with them. So that's awesome. And that was this past Saturday. I just want to give you some prayer points on how you can be praying for the people here. I met up with some Mormons about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and we were just asking questions, you know, no like huge debate, but it was just kind of asking questions on where the Bible and the Book of Mormon conflict. And so after that, I asked the Lord what He wanted me to do, and I believe He's leading me to meet up with them. So we've been meeting up on Skype But it's very frustrating because these people read the Bible daily, and they have read the Bible, most of them, all of it. And the thing is, it's only 1 out of 4 books of authority for them. And so they believe it's been corrupted. And so when you ask them about a Bible verse, they say, oh, no, that's not really what he meant. And so for us Christians, a lot of the time we don't really target these people because we feel like either it's too hard or they only believe in it's only like a little bit of a difference. But to me, it's a very big difference. It's the difference between heaven and hell, and the gospel that they're going around preaching isn't the gospel of eternal life because it involves works. And so if you guys could just be praying for Elder Bert. All the other ones have kind of faded off, and Elder Bert is the last one standing. But if you could be praying for him, and Lord willing, until God closes the door, I'll be meeting up with him. I also met up with a girl. Her name is Rachel. After giving out some food to the homeless, she was serving next to me, and I thought she had worked with the organization we had partnered with, but it was her first time. And long story short, she just opened up to me, and I feel like she has just been going down, digging a hole deeper and deeper, and her life has just gotten so bad that she's at the bottom of the well, and she's just reaching up for help. The way she opened up to me, it was just a cry for help, really. Her name is Rachel. She's also practiced a lot of spiritual things that are very evil, and so it's going to be a little harder to get back into reading the Bible and getting rid of those things. But getting help with my pastor Danny, and we will be meeting up with her on Thursday for dinner. And so if you could just be praying for that. Just got over a cold, so I'm healthy now. My quiet times have been really good. Thank you guys for your prayers, and I just pray that I am able to just continue meeting more people. And if you could be praying for energy, because it takes a lot of endurance for the relationships that I'm building. I've only met those 2 people that I'm really investing in, and so it takes a lot of patience. So if you could be praying for energy, that would be great, because quiet times have been good, but at times I do feel like I need a little bit more help because the ministry is so rough, and the days are so long, and you see so many people, and it is a culture shock, but it's a good one because it's reality out here. And so I want to thank you guys for supporting me and continuing to pray. I will be doing an update hopefully in about a week and a half to let you guys know what else is going on. And so I will see you guys then.